What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Today, we're going to be looking at the Piratech Kraken. Let's get into it. All right, so what we're going to do today with the Kraken is we're going to do some size comparisons, profile comparison, check the weight on the knife out, and then we'll jump into my thoughts and impressions. So let's kick it off with a comparison against the Spyderco Para 3. And as you can see, a little bit longer. This is definitely more of a medium-sized EDC. And then here you go against the Spyderco Shaman, a little bit bigger than the Kraken. So let me move the Para 3, the Shaman out of the way. Para 3 still on the table. Let's bring in a budget knife and take a look at it against the Civivi Bull Tusk, and then we'll go ahead and move the Para 3 out of the way, and we'll bring in the Miguron Moy Jarl. And the Moy Jarl is definitely going to be just around the same size. You got a little bit more length here on the blade. My apologies for shaking it around. And then in the very same length, it looks like, as close as I can get it to the pivot, which is hidden. We'll get into that in just a moment. But very comparable to the Moy Jarl. Let's check out the profile comparison against the Moy Jarl first, and then we'll bring in the Para 3, give you an idea of how thick it is, how it's going to carry in pocket, how it'll feel in hand. So you can see here, compared to the Moy Jarl, it is a little bit thinner, and then we'll grab the Para 3 and bring that over here. These are going to be, actually, the Kraken is just a skosh thicker, sorry. So a little bit in between the two. So it's a good thickness, I think, for the profile of the handle. Let's check the weight out. This definitely feels a little heavier, coming in at 4.1 ounces just in. Not bad. I actually thought it was going to be more like 4.5, a little bit heavier. It's a little bit closer to 4 than I really thought it was going to be. Let's go ahead and jump into my thoughts and impressions. We're going to start with the ergos on here. You got a very neutral handle, a little bit of contouring going on the inside, pretty flat on the back. If I'm honest, it very much reminds me of a Sabenza, the way that it's kind of styled, the way it kind of thickens out towards the back and rounds up. But that does equate to a very comfortable in-hand knife. I am able to get all 4 fingers on there. It's got good thickness, and the pocket clip is not intrusive at all. I like the fact that the jimping goes all the way out because it does give me a good landing spot for the thumb. It's also comfortable in the pinch grip. I can't quite make it out to here with that pinch grip with the length of the blade, that little spoon that's out here for aesthetics, I'm assuming, but it does work, and you do not have to go up too high for the draw cuts. So you're in a good position for draw cuts and utility cuts and detail work and things of that nature. It works really, really nicely. I think if you had smaller hands, you might be able to use your ring finger in the cutout, but I'm kind of far back on that cutout. And then when I go to rotate here, I kind of want to land on the blade, and it feels like it's going to cut me. So I really am not able to successfully hold it in that position. Reverse grip is really nice too for pulling through straps, anything that you want to kind of pull and cut away from to break apart or break into. It's going to work really nice for that. And one of the things that I do like about this one is the pocket clip works really, really nice. It goes in and out of the pocket nice, very tall. It's going to take on any thicker pants or materials that you're trying to put this in the pocket for very, very well. So I do like that. I also really like the studs, both on the thumb studs and the crossbar lock. So they're really easy to pull back. The action on it takes a little bit of adjustment. There's definitely something a little bit different with this design versus what's on the Kaiser clutch lock. This one here, if I find I let it go, it brings it to a crashing halt. That could be spring strength. It could be the way that this is radiused out for that lock. So I have to let this drop all the way and kind of bounce a little bit in order to close it consistently. It feels a little tight in the pivot, and there is a little bit of lock stick. I haven't tried to clean that, and I thought this was interesting as well. The S90V is written back here. So really quick on camera, I'm going to show this here in a second. It's everything that it came with as well. Let me grab one of my cleaning Q-tips. Let me see if I can just get rid of that lock stick. I didn't want to try to do that because I wanted to show that if this is just the oil gumming up on the spine, that is what creates lock stick regardless on what type of lock it is. It can be a button lock, a plunge lock, which is essentially the same thing, crossbar lock, spring lock, liner lock, all the locks. So we're going to go ahead really quick. We're going to take the Q-tip here, and this is just a circuit board cleaning Q-tip, and we're just going to clean it down. You should be able to now really see that S90V is nice and clean. The only thing that I can't get to is going to be the crossbar lock. I don't think I'll be able to get underneath, but we're going to try to just clean in here anyway. See if we get lucky and if we're able to kind of clean out the crossbar lock by moving it off the blade. I'm going to go ahead and try to move it. I don't think this is going to give me any better of an angle. I'm going to pull it back, but I'm going to lay the blade flat and see if I can wedge it down into here, and then also if I can go upside down now, try to get it from the bottom, clean this off. And this is just to demonstrate you can service these crossbar locks to an extent, and you can see just how much gunk and oil I got off of that lock mechanism here. I mean, that is pretty dirty. This was a clean white circuit board Q-tip, yeah, and the lock stick is completely gone. Came back a little bit. Let me see. Just a little bit, not nearly as bad though, and it actually has helped, as I missed the last one, helped me with the judgment a little bit more too. It feels like because I'm able to pull off of the blade a little bit smoother, it feels like I can almost close it, but it does feel like it's a little tight. Let's talk about the cutting performance. We'll go ahead and kick it down to the garage to cover that really quick. All right, down in the garage with the Piratech Kraken. Let's see what this one is all about. I wanted really quickly just to show the finish on here. It is really showing a bunch of snail trails. This is legit me just doing the cut test before I try to do any serious curing or anything like that. Factory edge though, pretty impressive, guys, pretty impressive. Let's run it through the cardboard. Ergonomically feels very comfortable. I'm not really noticing that pocket clip, and it is an absolute laser beam going through the cardboard. Feeling really good. I got a bad spot here, so I'm gonna switch it over and see. Yeah, the initial bite feels good. The jimping on the spine feels really good. This is feeling a little bit thick here, but it could be because I am getting to the point where I'm running out of spots on the cardboard to grip. But feels very comfortable. What did I do with that piece? I guess I'm probably going to need to get another piece. Oh. Feels pretty good. Let me grab a fresh sheet, guys. All right, you got a fresh sheet. Let's see what this S90V. There you go. It's definitely the paper was sliding over, but that's pretty good, and it feels very comfortable. And we'll kick it back up to the table for the rest of the review on this one. But cut test, very comfortable in hand. It is a little bit of a thicker geometry behind the edge, but I'll talk about all of that back up at the table. All right, so we're back from the garage, and you got to see just a little bit of the cutting performance from the garage there. It is definitely more of a thicker geometry overall, so it does feel like you have to work at it a little bit harder. What I did notice during the cutting, though, it does have a nice factory edge. It's laid back pretty good. That does help with the bite and the initial start through the cut, but that thicker geometry on here does cause it to want to kind of resist going through any thick material nicely. You really got to work and push through that. I don't know if I covered that down in the garage. I can't really remember what I may have covered, but the finish on the blade is really nice. One of the complaints that I do have is that this type of finish here, you can see all of the snail trails and everything just from going in and out of the pocket. I personally just tested it in the pocket. When I saw the snail trails at the unboxing, I really just stayed away from carrying this too much because I didn't know how much it would affect the finish. I would probably just truthfully do an etch of some kind here, some sort of stripping agent, and just finish it the way that I'd want to finish it myself, just because I know this is going to scar up a little bit more than what you would see on like a Sabenza. But let's go ahead and break into the knife. That's what I wanted to share today. It does have these magnets here that do fasten it to the steel liner. I have been asked if there was any possibility that these magnets could come out. I don't know how they're secured in here. So it is very interesting design, and I like the fact that it does do this to kind of hide all of the fasteners. And then you don't have to take the knife completely apart. You can take your T8 and remove the pocket clip from here, like so. That is going to free up the magnets. I feel like the blade may have moved a little, but I'm not sure on there. And then with that, actually, do you have to take that off? Let's hold on. Let's pause that for a second. I'm just curious. Yeah, you do. What am I thinking? It's going to hold. It's going to hang on to the pocket clip there. So I'm hoping that that doesn't come out. And what I'd like to do feels really tight. There goes the screw because I moved it out. I'd like to see, it is a T8 and it is really tight. So I'd like to break it a little bit there. Okay, so that does create a little bit of play, unfortunately. I'm going to try to tighten it up slightly. I don't know how much it was worked on or maintained. No difference there, and I just nicked my finger a little bit. Let's go ahead and put everything back together. I just wanted to demonstrate on there. It's not going to be too hard to maintenance, in my opinion. So to me, I really am not too worried about it here. I am going to open this back up because I think that makes it a little bit easier to get the screw back in for the pocket clip. And it is all T8 hardware too, by the way, which I really do like. All right, so let's tighten that up. All right, nice and snug. Let's go ahead and put the other scale on. Forgot this. This is just sitting in here. It kind of has a little bit of a wedge. That's what keeps it in there. So when you go to reinstall this, I would actually just recommend letting it fall on like so. It feels like it's back in there. Actually, no play, but it doesn't quite fall shut. That does feel like I tuned it. No, maybe not. You definitely got to swing it down. Definitely got to swing it down. I think it could be tuned a little bit more though. But the unfortunately, the Piratech Kraken is sold out. But these were coming in at $280, and I think it's a very interesting knife for $280. There's a couple reasons that I do say that. I think if you knew somebody that could make scales that would be able to kind of do a nested liner, it's very interesting because you could do custom scales on this one, but they would have to be able to design it to where you'd be able to do magnets in order to fasten it to the body. You know, that could be a very interesting option if you could replicate that. I don't know how much CAD work would be required for that, but it is very interesting from that perspective. I also think that it is very interesting because it's going to be really easy to anodize your own scales and whatnot. Why doesn't this want to sit? There we go. Those magnets do make it a little bit of a challenge because they kind of catch the spring when you're reinstalling them, but it would be really easy to mod and ana this, send the scales off to have any type of custom work you want done to them. S90V clutch lock. It's really a good price on the knife as a whole. I would like to see a hollow grind on this. I think that would make it really slicey, but again, it's not going to be for everybody. Not everybody's going to want to see a hollow grind on it. And it's it's just a very unique knife. It's very interesting with the magnetic scales being attached. It's just so different. I don't know that there's a whole lot that I can really offer at this price point that's going to be super comparable. Having said that, I would recommend Migron Kyrex 2. That's going to be $199. It's going to be M390. It's going to be milled titanium at this size. You can go with the premium CJRB Echo, or pyrite, your choice, but I personally like the Echo, and you can get the neural titanium or you can get the inlays with the carbon fiber. I did want to show you what is included with the knife. You get this really nice carry case, you get the COA, which is going to have the date it was created, who assembled it, the number of the model, the hardness of the S90V coming in at 61.5. I think that's 61.5. Might be 61.3. Handwriting is a little hard to read. And it gives you all of the details. You get a nice little microfiber cloth. All of that is badged and ID. So it's a very pleasant unboxing experience as a whole for this knife, which I really did appreciate. But what are your thoughts on the Piratech Kraken? Are you going to get one? Did you get one? Let me know. Sound off down in the comments below. I'd love to hear that. Shout out to everyone out there that likes, uses the links, comments, and is subscribed. Shout out to my channel members. You're getting that early access to this video. I appreciate all the support. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. And until next time, peace.